Researchers in Canada are trying to identify trends in cows' methane emissions. A research team at Halifax's Dalhousie University researchers have used NASA and European Space Agency satellite data along with artificial intelligence to establish methane concentration from the cattle. It has been found that methane levels peak during the fall, and Ontario has the highest concentrations in the country. We were joined earlier by Dr. Neetharajan, Associate Professor at Dalhousie University, Research Chair and leader of the study, to discuss his research and the future of digital livestock farming.
So the question we have been asking is, how do we meet the goal of net zero 2050? What role artificial intelligence and satellite technology can help us meet Canada's climate goals? So that's the bigger question we were looking at. So when we look at methane is a time-sensitive climate action requirement. We need to be able to cut methane ASAP because methane is almost 100 times powerful than carbon dioxide. It has the ability to trap the heat and can retain for much more longer compared to carbon dioxide. So the short-term immediate requirement is, how do we go about cut down the methane in the dairy sector? So our research prompted, okay, what is the current ground reality? When we looked at it, there is absolutely no technology tool available to be able to measure the actual methane that's emitted in dairy farms across Canada. People have been looking at using sensor technologies. Sometimes they're also trying to put some gas measurement chambers per cow in a farm, but some of them are practically not possible. But the bigger challenge is the dairy cow system is an open system. There are larger windows. Whenever the methane is produced, they get easily dissolved into the carbon dioxide. It goes above the atmosphere. So our research is basically we collected data from collaboration with NASA as well as European Space Agency satellite. We looked at three types of data: methane, carbon dioxide, and nitrous oxide. On a daily basis and also on a weekly basis over a 8-year period, 4 year before COVID, 4 year after COVID. And then we were looking at how much of methane is being emitted per farm in Canada. So we have about 9,500 dairy farms across Canada, coast to coast. We selected about 1,500 farms approximately, out of which we further increased the temporal and spatial resolution for about 575 farms and 384 dairy processors. So this weekly data help us to understand benchmarking. For example, how does a smaller dairy farm here in Nova Scotia, which has about 100 dairy cows, emit methane in comparison to a 300 or 400 dairy farm cows in Alberta or Ontario? So that's the type of question we were looking at. We also integrated satellite data and advanced machine learning techniques. So it's a first of its kind study for benchmarking methane emissions in the Canadian dairy sector, because in the dairy sector, currently there is a lack of precise and scalable tools for emission monitoring. So we are filling that particular knowledge gap. We also were able to show how seasonal variations and regional differences were meticulously captured. For example, when we look at Alberta versus Atlantic Canada, there is a bit of fluctuations in terms of climate, the small scale nuances and variations in environment. We were able to pinpoint that. We were also able to look at how 4 different distinct seasons, fall season, winter season, spring season, and summer season, how the methane emission varies across all of these 4 seasons. So the seasonal variations and regional differences provided a lot of insights in terms of understanding how the emissions occurs, because the results really help us to develop new tailor-made strategies and solutions.